You suddenly wake up. You look around an all-white room. The ceiling above you is moving, not just spinning, but flowing, like water that forgot which way was down. You're not in pain. You don't remember falling asleep. You sit up, and the bed lets you go. A voice in the room says something in a language you don't recognize. There's a pause. Then it tries again, in English. But the accent is wrong. Old, like someone doing a movie impression of you. The voice says, "Welcome back. You've been asleep for a while." You ask how long. The voice pauses. By your old calendar, about 1,000 years. The current date is the year 3026. Stick around, because waking up in the future starts out like every kid's fantasy. And then, somewhere around the second week, it starts to feel like a museum exhibit. But first, the fun part. Because the future is genuinely incredible. Your body, which you remember being kind of a mess, feels new. Your back doesn't hurt. The scar on your knee is gone. A small voice in your head tells you your blood pressure is perfect and offers to adjust your serotonin if you'd like. You say no thank you, mostly because you don't know who you're talking to. You learn that almost no one dies of disease anymore. Not even aging, or anything really. The average person is 140. There's a man in Brazil who is 612 and runs a music school. Cars don't exist. Cities float, suspended in soft fields you don't pretend to understand. You can speak to anyone on Earth in real time in their language without thinking about it. The information is just there, in your head, the way breathing is there. For 3 days, you walk around with your mouth slightly open. Everything is magic. Everything works. Everything is better. And then the second realization arrives. And it is not magic at all. You ask if you can call your mom. There's a long, careful pause. And then the voice, gently, the way you'd tell a child something true, says she's been gone for 980 years. So has everyone else. Your sister, your best friend, the girl who broke your heart in college, the guy you sat next to at work, the dog, all of them, bones, then dust, then a name in a database, then nothing. You ask about your hometown. They tell you it's still there. Sort of. The streets are different, the buildings are different. There's a museum where your high school used to be. Inside that museum, they tell you, politely, there's a small exhibit about people from your century. You can visit if you'd like. It is, they add, very popular with school children. That's when the visitors start. That people want to meet you. Not because you're famous, because you're old. You're a walking artifact. A researcher named Vel, and that's not even her full name, just the part you can pronounce, sits across from you with the kindest eyes you've ever seen. She asks if you'd be willing to answer some questions. About what bread tasted like. About what it felt like to ride in a car. About what you used to do when you were sad. You answer for hours. She's fascinated. She's lovely. And slowly, the strangest feeling settles in. She's not talking to you. She's talking about you, to herself. You're not a person to her. You're a primary source. And then there's the language thing. The voice was right, they speak your English. But it's drifted. Words you used every day mean something slightly off. Friend doesn't mean what it used to. Cool makes them laugh. Love has been split into 4 different words because the old one was too vague. Every conversation, there's a soft delay while the world translates you. You start to sound, even to yourself, like someone reading from an old book. You try to tell a joke once. Nobody laughs. Not because it wasn't funny, because nobody knows what a boss is anymore, or a Monday, or rent. The setup needed 500 years of footnotes. You try to find someone like you. Other revived sleepers, maybe. There are a few. But they're scattered, and most of them woke up a long time ago. They've adapted. They speak the new way. They've made peace with it. One of them, a woman who went under in 2018-80, meets you for what they call coffee, but isn't. She's kind. She tells you the hardest part isn't the future. The hardest part is realizing that you are the foreign country. Everyone here belongs. You're the visitor. You ask her if it ever stops feeling like that. She thinks about it for a long time, and then she says, gently, no, not really. You just stop noticing the ache. The way you stopped noticing the sound of your own breathing. You go for a walk that night, or whatever this place calls a walk, a soft path that adjusts under your feet. The air is perfect. The sky is full of slow, soft lights you don't recognize. You stop and look up, and the stars, the actual stars behind everything else, are the same stars. The same ones you saw from a backyard you can't go back to. The same ones 1,000 other versions of you saw, in 1,000 different backyards on 1,000 different nights, all of them dust now. The stars don't know what year it is. The stars don't care that you're a museum exhibit. For a minute, looking up, you're just a person under a sky. The oldest, simplest thing a human ever did. And it's the closest you've felt to home since you woke up. You walk back. Your room is warm. The voice asks, gently, if you'd like to sleep. You say yes. And just before you do, you wonder what it would have been like to live your one small life, in your one small time, with your one small handful of people, and never know that anything else existed. Maybe that was the gift. Not the future, the not knowing.